Following in the footsteps of the latest release from FreeBSD, it's time to try a new release of NomadBSD. So here we are on the NomadBSD website, and specifically the download section. And one thing about the NomadBSD website which I really love is the attention to detail. And here we have the instructions on how to download and how to extract the image and how to burn it to either USB or whatever you want to put it on. And it caters for lots of different operating systems. And then you've got all the different locations and the different types of NomadBSD, and it's all there. And the sheer number of sites available is very impressive. And one thing you will notice is that there's different versions of NomadBSD using different file systems. There's the 64-bit for AMD 64s using UFS. That's actually UFS on the USB stick, I think. And you can download it from various locations like that. And then there's NomadBSD 64-bit for AMD 64 for ZFS. And then we've got another one where it's 32-bit for UFS. And then you've got one for Mac using UFS. And good grief, you've got another one for Mac using ZFS. So it pretty much caters for a wide range and from a wide area. Speaking of which, I will download from, there's England, London. Or you can choose the one that's closest to yourself, of course, but for me it's England, London. And, okay, well, maybe not that one then. I think they're having problems with that. But that's fine. Probably after this video's release, it'll be fixed. I will choose France. That's pretty close. And it's not nice. It's downloading at a fair speed. My internet's not the fastest, but it's going as fast as it can. Anyway, here we are. It's all downloaded. It's in a folder. It's in my RAM disk. And I'm going to extract the image according to the instructions. So changing to root. You can use sudo or do as if you want. And I'm going to put, there it is, look. So LZMA -D. And I'll just copy the name of the LZMA file. Okie doke. Press enter. And as you can see, a new image has popped up in the folder contents. And there we go. And if I just list it again, yeah, it automatically deletes the LZMA file and just leaves us with a nice image file. And in this occasion, I'm using the UFS version. Although it really doesn't matter when you come to install it into a hard drive because you can choose ZFS or UFS there. Right, you can use DD. You can use the application of choice to extract the image if you want. And in this case, I'm going to put it on a USB stick. I can't remember the size of the USB stick. I'm sure it's 64 gigabytes. But, you know, if you're going to use it as a sort of like a mobile OS, then a nice amount of space is probably advisable because it saves everything to the USB stick. Right, let's fast forward the writing. There we go. All done. I'm going to eject that or take that out. I'm going to put it into the test machine and then we'll reboot the machine. Right, I'm booting up the test machine as always. I was waiting for it to... I'm just going to change to make sure we can boot off the USB device. Yours might be slightly different. That's how I do it on this one. And a familiar looking boot screen if you use FreeBSD or GhostBSD. I'm going to let this load in real time. GhostBSD, when it boots, puts everything into RAM. With NomadBSD, it runs off the USB stick. So perhaps you don't have to wait as long for it to boot up. Everything looks to be alright. Okay. Hopefully, that's not too bad. And the first thing you'll see, it asks for you to set things up. Here you can choose the language of your choice. A good selection, as always. And we're just going to go to English, United Kingdom. Welcome to the NomadBSD Setup Wizard. Before you can use NomadBSD, there are some things that need to be set up. The setup will only write to the USB flash drive it's currently running from, and will not change your system. And we can choose the default keyboard layout, and it's automatically chosen the right one on the left, and the keyboard variants on the right. I'm going to leave it as default. Keyboard layout. If you have an additional keyboard, you can choose it here, but seeing as I've only got one, I'm just going to click next. And select your time zone. Again, it's chosen automatically, which is very nice indeed. Although you've got a fair old selection here if you want to change that. And right, on this, now we need to set up a password. This will be used for both the user and for root, because there's not a separate user from the get-go. You can add one if you wish later on, but for now it's one and the same, because it's a mobile OS and it's designed just to plug in and get going. Although when you install a hard drive, it does give the option to create a normal user. You can encrypt it if you wish, which is probably a good idea if you're using it as a true mobile OS, from one computer to another, in case it falls into the wrong hands, if there's anything on there you don't want anyone to see. But in this case, no. And here you can choose the preferences for your default applications. And there's a summary of what we've just chosen. It's looking all right. And when you're happy with that, press commit, and it will start to set up your USB stick. It will expand it to fill the empty space, and takes 6 minutes and 59 seconds, which is not too bad. And then USB stick should be all set up. I'm going to reboot it with it still in the machine, and hopefully we can get going. I'm going to let it boot in real time to show you the length of time it takes. And it's a USB 2.0. It's not super fast, but it's it's not too bad. So I think roughly it's probably about as fast as it's going to be off a normal hard drive, I think. I'm going to not stop yet, and yeah, about 33 seconds. And here we are on the NomadBSD desktop. It's very lightweight. It's packed full of things for us to use straight away, as it should be for a mobile OS. There's a lot of audio. Well, there's one thing in the audio. There's a few things need to be added, maybe. Audio, video. In development, there's quite a few things there. Graphics, you've got good old GIMP. Network, you've got a few choices there for emails and Pidgin and stuff like that. A Linux browser installer, which is very handy. We'll have a look at that later. Very disappointing in Office. I thought there might be a word processor available, which is something that GhostBSD kind of does as well. Settings and system. Quite a few choices there, and we'll have a look at the NomadBSD installer. That's put it onto the hard drive later. And OctoPKG is handy as well. Utilities. There's some printer things. Simple word processor leaf pad. Well, text editor really. You can add, change desktops, reconfigure, log out, and update the menu, which I think it does automatically anyway. Right, we're going to go back and have a look at OctoPKG. It's a graphical way to install packages. You can do it the old-fashioned way via command line if you want, and I think that's what I prefer to do. But OctoPKG is perhaps not as polished as the GhostBSD package manager. And one of the things which I don't find is intuitive is how you get a new list. Because I think that's just searching one that's already installed. Yeah, I think it is. So I'm just updating the repository catalog and see if we can get an up-to-date list. A better option. Click on that, I think. Yeah, install updates. Okay. It's got some updates when after we refreshed it. And Firefox, Thunderbird, and AOM. Okay. We'll update them. It's See, I've never really been a fan of OctoPKG. I think it's not as perhaps clear as it could be as other file managers that they may get in Linux, or like I say, even GhostBSD one. So I'm not too keen on it. I think it was a good idea. I think it was a good attempt. I don't think it caught on in the FreeBSD world. I think that the FreeBSD community still prefer to do it the old-fashioned way. Because I mean, you got a lot of tools available. You know, PKG, Portmaster, PortSnap, all these things. Right. So I'm just updating the Firefox. I'll fast forward this bit. Right. Okay. All done. So at least we got them updated. Right. So I'm gonna search for something using the old-fashioned way, the more traditional way, and because it's based on FreeBSD 14, we're gonna use PKG. So change into root. Once you're there, let's go to PKG, search LibreOffice and see what's available. Yeah, there is. A lot of different language versions available, but I'm going to search for English GB, if there is an option for that. Yep, there we go. And that will not only pull in the localized version, but also pull in the main one as well. Paste that in and press enter. Yes. And we're going to install LibreOffice. Right. And as usual, if you install LibreOffice, it gives you a recommendation of what you should set up as mount points for your file system. Just to ease the process so Java can load up, etc. So let's have a look. Go to Edit, FS tab. Right, okay. I see proc is already there, so that's a little bit done for us. So really we just need to put fdesk. Copy that, paste that in, save that. And if we issue a mount -a to mount all, right, once that's mounted, just leave that. Go and check the menu to see if it's populated with LibreOffice, which it has, very nice. And then we'll start it up. Wow, that's actually loaded quite quick. It's loaded quicker than my main FreeBSD one. Just onto that. Thing about everything when you first start LibreOffice up, it defaults to a small view. So I'm just going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. Right, there we are. And as traditional, hello. Feels very, very fluid actually, very, very snappy. That's really nice. And I'm going to see if it detects the printer like GhostBSD did, which I don't think it... Nah, it hasn't done. Probably because Cups hasn't been set up. But that's fine. That doesn't take 2 minutes to do. And we'll close that one down. Don't need that. And we're going to check out Firefox. It's the ESR version. Don't know why they've gone for ESR. I mean, I'm not complaining. ESR is very good on the Raspberry Pi image. But on this one, maybe yeah, that's fine. As long as it's still getting the security updates, you should be okay. It's version 115.5.0, I think. But we can't play DRM on that. That requires a Linux browser, and this is one feature I love about NomadBSD. There's an option to install a Linux browser that will enable you to view Widevine, Netflix, and things like that. And you get a lovely little menu, and it lets you actually install Google Chrome, Brave, Vivaldi, Opera, and Microsoft Edge if you are feeling so inclined. Which we might just do that just for the laugh. So I'm going to choose Google Chrome and install that. It will install a lot of Linux binaries, compatibility, libraries and stuff like that. So I'm just going to fast forward all this because it does take a long time. And I'm hopefully there's enough space on the USB stick. Right, we're all done. Brilliant. I went away and made a cup of tea while that was on. Right, so we'll check out the actual browser before we install Microsoft Edge. Google Chrome, Linux, yeah. Okay, let's have a look. Make Google Chrome default. That's typical of Chrome, and it wants to grab it. Automatically send usage statistics. No, I don't think so. And here we are. I love this about NomadBSD. They made this step. I mean, you can do it manually on FreeBSD and GhostBSD, but they made this step so easy. With a click, there you go. You can install a Linux browser to get all the goodies that perhaps you can't get using the FreeBSD based one. And I'm going to test. I'm going to test my YouTube channel first, of course. I don't expect any problems with this. It will play just like any browser should. Yes, there we go. It's all very nice. If there is any lag going on, it's down to my internet, not the browser. But yeah, it's very fluid, very nice. I'll just pause that there. Okay, it seems to work. And now we're going to try some Widevine DRM. Let's see if it plays. Yeah. There we go. So if you've got an account with Netflix, log yourself in, and you better watch things on here. Yeah, this doesn't work at all on Firefox in FreeBSD. Nice, nice, nice. Right, okay, let's get on with the bad boy and try Microsoft Edge. Why do you want to try that? Well, why not? Just fast forward a little. It didn't take as long as the initial install of Google Chrome, of course. And let's press OK. Well, we're going to try Edge. Why you would want to do this, I have no idea. But regardless, let's dive in. Okay, that seems to be... Oh, welcome to Microsoft Edge, a fast, safe, and productive web browser. Okay. I think it's based upon Chrome now, I think. Chromium? I'm not sure. Let's see your new tab. Okay, we'll just confirm that. I'm going to go with some of the defaults. Close that. Oh, it's just, I want to get on and browse. There we go. Well, I mean... what the... Okay, let's... I just want to... It's been a while since I've used Microsoft. Anything, really, and... it just won't shut up. Okay, we'll just start browsing. There we go. Oh, I don't like... all this spam here. I don't like it. Give me a simple search engine. Give me Bing, that would be preferable. Right, so we're going to test Widevine on this. Play. Okay. It doesn't. Manage consent. Okay, I'll click that. That's made no difference. Detected Edge using Widevine, but it doesn't seem to play. Okay. I can't see the argument for using Microsoft Edge unless there is a specific reason why you need to. Right, we're in cups, and I'm going to try and get the printer to work. It's detected Xerox, so I'm going to use that one. Let's share on that. Let's press continue. Hopefully it's going to do it. Okay, a lot of Xerox ones are coming up. I don't think any of them are applicable. Don't think so. No, what I usually go is go for a generic one, and then go for PCL6. That works with this Xerox. Generic. Continue. There's the generic IPP, PCL6. I'll try that one. That's okay. Print a page out. Shall we print a page out? If I can find it. Print test page. Okay. Well, it is printing, so that seems to have worked. That's okay. And now that we've got that configured, we're going to see if it works in LibreOffice, which it should. Although I've had once or twice where I've configured the printer and it hasn't carried on through. And yeah, there it is. Very good. So we have a fully mobile printing option. And of course, if you come to a new network with a new printer, you can always change that again. So what am I doing now? Oh yes, sudo -s. Yeah, that's an option. Okay, cool. And do as. Yep, that's an option too. So do as -s, I suppose. All right. Okay, so they're both activated and configured. Okay. KLD stat shows us what's loaded up as modules. And oh yeah, good to see NVIDIA is loaded up automatically, which is always nice. Won't be looking at the screen if that weren't the case. And top will show us the resources in case you're interested. Not bad at all, actually. Yeah. Could be worse. Right, so what we're going to do is another thing which I like NomadBSD for, and that's the ability to install onto the hard drive. Not always an option, but it is been for the last few releases. And it transfers everything which you perhaps have done on the live system to your hard drive. I think it just copies it straight over. It doesn't there's no fancy installation or compression, etc., or decompression. I think it just copies it over. Here you can choose UFS or ZFS, regardless of the image that you downloaded. If you've got a Lenovo, you can fix a buggy BIOS. I don't know, I'm not going to touch that. Leave that at thingy. And here you can set a username and password, which is separate from the one that you used when you set up the USB stick, if that makes sense. A normal user without privileges. So yeah. And one of the downsides for this step on NomadBSD is it gives you 8-character limitation for your name. I don't know why they do that. Seems a little bit odd, a bit restrictive. No, I'm not going to select auto login. And next. And a summary of what we've chosen. And if you're happy with that, press commit and install, just in case you change your mind. And away we go. All done. Brilliant. Press finish. And normally at this point, I would normally reboot and show you around the system. Haven't been installed, but I've already shown you around the system, so I think we'll just shut down. But there you go. NomadBSD transitioned from a mobile OS to a desktop OS seamlessly. And the addition of a Linux browser, you can now watch Netflix and things like that. An excellent OS. Right, the good points of NomadBSD and the bad points. Well, the good points is it's very intuitive, very easy to use. There's very few steps that's going to confuse and bamboozle you. It's fast, stable. It's obviously based upon FreeBSD, and it's the latest FreeBSD 14.0, so it's got all the goodies that it has to offer, and speed increases, etc. It's feature packed. Minus the inclusion of an Office suite, which is, or even the word processors like AbiWord, which is a bugbear for me. I understand why they might want to exclude it for space and or RAM. I can understand GhostBSD wanting to exclude it because, they have to fit an entire system into your system memory and it runs from that. But with NomadBSD, because you're pointing it onto an actual physical USB, there's perhaps less restrictions that way. So maybe a word processor might have been a good idea. I think barely, because I mean, using it as a mobile OS, so you know, you put it into a machine, get some work done. Say, for instance, a library, if they let you do that. Put it in your machine, get the work done, save it, bring it home, print, or whatever. But if there's no word processor, I mean, and if you ain't got access to the internet, then you can't download new things. Anyway, I've ranted about that before. I think the inclusion of a word processor would be a good step, but I'm not the developer of it. But apart from that, it's feature packed, and it's got the GIMP, which is always a plus point for me. That was always something sad to see when a lot of Linux distributions dropped it, which is a shame. I know you can add it on later, but it was always a shame because GIMP was always part of almost every Linux install since the beginning of time. Minus points. I can't. It's no major ones. It's just you don't hear a lot from the developers. They don't make their presence known on social media that much. There's not a lot of announcements, and there seem to be long periods of time when nothing is done, and you have to then go into the forums and just to have a look to see if things are still going on, because you presume that the project might be hibernating. So perhaps a more this is like a bad criticism because it's not really aimed at the OS, but maybe more engagement with the community, it would be beneficial for the NomadBSD team. Just my point of view. I think NomadBSD is a wonderful OS. So, what would be the score? I would give it 5. 5 robos. It's because it's very much knows its market. It knows it's a mobile OS. It knows its audience. It's FreeBSD based. It doesn't replicate any other FreeBSD derivatives. So yeah, I haven't tried playing games on this, but frankly, it's kind of the same performance as what I tried on GhostBSD. I haven't tried it with any other graphics cards, but it works fine on NVIDIA, and that's all I've got. Anyway, I have a lengthy video again. I do apologise for that. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like. If you found anything useful, please consider subscribing. That's always a nice thing to have. And if you don't want to miss, if you already are a subscriber and you don't want to miss any future videos, then hit that notification bell, and it'll let you know when a new one drops. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.